tell you a quick story on my end.
Yeah.
So this is like a couple years ago. I'm having dinner at a place in on Sunset called Bird Street.
Okay.
It's this cool restaurant, and I'm there with my wife and some friends, and we had a really nice dinner, and we're leaving, and we're almost at the door to get in the elevator to leave.
Yeah.
And the owner comes running over, and he says, "Hey, Richard, I know you're leaving, but there's someone else having dinner here, and he would really love to meet you and say hello to you."
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, okay." And I thought it was just somebody who liked what I do, a fan or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, sure." So he walks me around the corner, and as I go around the corner, I see this guy stand up, and my brain goes, "That's Bruno Mars."
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, it can't be, I'm not computing. I'm thinking, wow, that's Bruno Mars, not thinking that that's who he's taking me to see.
Right.
And Bruno comes over and he gives me the biggest hug. And we sit there and talk for a while. And I think that when somebody asks me this question, they say, whenever I'm doing an interview and somebody says, who do you think is the person, the talent of our time?
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anybody on the planet more talented than Bruno Mars.
You got that right.
And I've been saying it for years and years.
Yeah.
Come to meet him, and he's such a gentle, sweet soul and funny. And we text each other every once in a while now. And we keep threatening to get together to actually have dinner. But I feel embarrassed that until recently I didn't know. I knew that you guys had worked together, but I didn't know that you came up with the name Silk Sonic. Please tell me how that happened.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, Babyface, right?
Yeah, of course.
And, I came up, I was good at coming up with names. If I see you and you remind me of something or somebody.
That's true. I mean, you are. Talk about, and I know you're at least 2 for 2 between naming Babyface and Silk Sonic. That's all you need. You don't need more than that, but I bet you've done
it's a lot of them that never rose to that, that fame thing, but that was what I did, and, I loved it. It was funny.
Yeah.
Because every time I did that, it stuck.
Yeah.
For some reason it stuck. And it's funny you mentioned Bruno because, we just came from Vegas.
Yeah.
And he invited us down to his place.
Yeah.
What is it, Pinky Ring?
Yeah.
We went down and had a blast.
Nice.
And then the very next day, I texted him and told him just about the exact thing you just said about him being the void, taking up that void.
He's the guy.
He is,
He's the guy, and on every level. Like, I think I might have even said to him that night, because I'd had a martini or two.
Yeah.
I told him how much I loved him. And I have talked publicly about that for the last, I don't know how many years, since he's become a star, ever since he became a star.
Yeah.
And he's looked at me and he said, I know you have, because it's gotten back to me. He said, I've had people tell me that you've said really, really beautiful things about me, and I'm really grateful and everything. And he's such a charming, humble guy for as gifted as he is. But I said to him that night, I really should hate you because no one should be allowed to be that talented.
Yeah.
It's not just that he's not a great singer. He's like my favorite singer.
Yeah. Wow.
And his playing, his guitar playing. He's a great drummer. He's an amazing dancer. He's an incredible songwriter. He's one of the greatest performers.
Yes.
He is and he's funny. You put him in a skit on SNL, he's going to crush it.
Yes.
He's so gifted that I feel like he's a little annoying.
Yeah.
I like, see that. Nobody should be allowed to be that talented.
Yeah. But, he's so dedicated to what he does.
Yeah.
And there's no really distractions when he's in that, as far as when he gets down to really doing a song or doing music, there's no distraction.
Yeah.
He's just dedicated to that, what he's doing, and I just had another feeling for him because I know the pressure that he got to be going through.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to be close with him and him saying, not in a whole lot of words, but in a few words, how great it is, but also how deep it is. And he don't have nobody to talk to about it like that, you know. And
well, you're that for him.
Well, kind of, but, you know, it's like he don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
You know, and then that made me think about James.
Right.
You know, it don't get no,
right.
You know, it's like when you like that, you know, it's like you have to be so careful and cautious, you know. He know he's, you know, good at everything, but when you say great, that hits him, I think, a little different.
Yeah.
You know, a little different because, you know, he grew up on all these greats.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to put himself in the greatness.
But he really has surpassed pretty much all of them, almost all of them.
Yes.
The other thing about Bruno that is so unique, I think, is that to be not just as gifted and talented as he is, but to have had the amount of success he's had.
Yes.
And he's really the only powerhouse superstar I can think of who I basically don't know anything about. He's not on social media.
Right.
He's not tweeting.
Yeah.
He's not posting stuff. I mean, he's got people who post
doing it.
Very curated, very careful image stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't do interviews hardly ever.
Right.
You don't see him. I don't know what he has for breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, what his thoughts are on manifestation.
Yes. Yeah.
We pretty much everyone else in show business.
Yeah.
Over time, it's gotten more and more and more, and I'm certainly guilty of it, where you just follow that path and you're like, oh, well, these 17 people want to interview me. I guess I'm promoting something, so I'm going to go do it.
Right.
I don't know who made that decision for Bruno, if it just came to him himself, but his lack of accessibility, I really admire almost as much as I admire his talent.
Well, you know, I'm pretty sure that he came up with that because he studied.
Yeah.
I mean, he studied like no other, you know, and all of the good things he really studied real hard.
Yeah.
You know, and bits and pieces, you know.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of publicity, Bruno Mars makes Prince look like he was a loudmouth.
Yes.
He makes Bruno Mars makes Prince look like he was, you know, a Kardashian, practically. You know what I mean? And Prince was careful.
Yeah.
But Prince was out there. If I go on YouTube, I can see plenty of Prince interviews. There's hardly anything on Bruno. Bruno keeps his private life private. That's really admirable.
That's Bruno.
Yeah.
And when I say he studied very well, just like you just said about Prince, that's what made him bag up from that. You know, if I bag away when I'm that hot, I will last longer.
Totally.
You know, and because everybody wants to know.
And it's true. And when he does, and he doesn't put out music a lot, but when he does, it's an event.
It's the bomb.
It's an event, and it's always great.
Yes.
Like when I first heard the duet with Lady Gaga, I was a little like, oh, he's doing a duet with Lady Gaga? Okay. And that song actually took me a couple listens. I liked it.
To get to it, yeah.
Then like the third or fourth time I listened to it, I was like, wow, this is deep. And I hear his hands all over it. You know, I hear, no disrespect to her, because I think she obviously was a great collaborator, but man, he's just so gifted.
No, anything that he's doing, you know, his hands are all over it.